Advanced Integrative Medical. And the reason why we're called that is because we integrate everything to make people healthier. We believe that I'm a family medicine doctor. I've got a subspecialty in sports medicine, and then I've done additional training in what's called functional medicine. And functional medicine is where you look at people from a biochemical level and figure out what's wrong with them on the inside and design a nutrition and supplement program that's going to help them get better and help their body heal itself. So the things that we do is that we provide people with good nutrition counseling. We tell them how to eat for their problems. We're not just giving people random diets. We base it all on lab work and things that make sense from a scientific basis. So we give you nutrition guidance. We give you some supplements that help your body heal up and activate the right kind of zones. And we do nutritional IV therapy where we're giving people B vitamins, vitamin C, magnesium, zinc, things that your body has a hard time absorbing, especially if you've spent a long time in the world destroying your gut and worsening things by the things that you eat, the environment that you're in, and we try to heal you up from the inside out. So that being said, one thing I learned about doing lectures is early on is the first thing you do is you tell people what you're going to tell them, you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. So that's the easiest thing. So I'm going to tell you, I don't bury the lead. If you get nothing out of this lecture other than this, just remember that the first medicine in the world is food. Food is your most important medicine. I'm going to try to explain why I think that's so important and why it's so important to all of you guys. But if you don't get anything else out of this lecture, the pills and the pharmaceutical industries and the doctors that you know, they are not your first line of medicine. The food that you put in your body is. So I'm going to, first of all, full disclosure, I'm going to make you guys upset for a little while. Then I'm going to teach you something that you don't know. And then I'm going to tell you how to take control of your illness, whatever that illness may be. We're going to talk about Parkinson's today. So first of all, I'll just tell you a little bit about what I know about Parkinson's disease. I'm going to teach you about the gut and the brain and how they're connected and interact. Talk about brain inflammation and how that's related to the standard American diet. And then I'm going to give you some certain keys to better gut and brain health because they're so interrelated. If your gut is healthy, your brain is healthy. If your gut is not healthy, your brain is not healthy. So again, I'm not going to bury the lead. If you eat real food, you will be healthier. So the rule that you want to remember is if you can catch it, pick it, or kill it, then you can eat it. If it comes in a box or a bag, if it looks like somebody else made it, if it looks like nature made it, then you can eat it. If it looks like man made it, if you can't pronounce what's in the ingredient list, or there's more than 4 ingredients, then you probably don't want to eat it. And then we'll talk about what foods can be inflammatory and anti-inflammatory, and about supplements. So who knows what the word supplement means? Anybody?
Something you got.
What's that?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, so is a supplement the mainstay, the main thing that you're supposed to do? No. So there's no such thing as a supplement that's going to cure your illness or disease. Taking extra vitamin D is not going to cure you of anything if you don't have a good diet to begin with. So supplements are important, but they can't be the start. You can't make up for a bad diet or bad exercise or bad life with a couple of supplements. You can't take extra CoQ10 and make up for smoking for 50 years. That's not how it works. So what do I know about Parkinson's? First, I don't know very much. All science knows is that Parkinson's is a disease somewhere along the way where the dopamine cells break down and they don't work anymore, right? We don't know why. neurologist, he doesn't know any more than that. He might know a lot about the science and treatment and all those things that work, but he doesn't know any more about that than about Parkinson's. The second thing is, if I care more about your health than you do, there is something wrong, okay? You care more about yourself, your family members, than I could ever. So why rely on me to do something for you? You need to take the responsibility. You need to take control of your own health, and you can if you know the right things. The other thing that's going to piss you off is that the whole world is working against you. Okay, the whole food system is working against you. The environment is working against you. American lifestyle is working against you, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. So what happens with Parkinson's disease, and why is nutrition so important? A couple of things to know that's associated with Parkinson's disease. Low vitamin D levels are associated with Parkinson's disease. So low vitamin D levels are associated with Parkinson's disease. Where do you get vitamin D from? Sun. Okay. Sorry for all you people that live in Pittsburgh. Okay. You have a problem. Everybody I've ever tested in Pittsburgh for vitamin D levels has been low. Every single person. So if you're not on a vitamin D supplement, or you're not trying to fix your vitamin D, then that's a strong thing to think about. The other thing to know is that high blood sugars immediately deplete your brain of its neurotransmitters. It's just a reaction. So if your blood sugars go up, and think about this is, we evolved, 100,000 million years ago, our systems of how we use nutrition, right? So if your blood sugar goes up, the brain is like, oh, it's fancy time, we're great, we're not starving anymore. Well, who's starving anymore in America these days? Nobody. We have foods everywhere. We can eat all day. We just snack. So that blood sugar going up is a signal to your brain to use everything and store it as fat, because it doesn't know when it's going to eat again. Well, unfortunately, the brain hasn't gotten that message that we have food everywhere all the time, and that it doesn't need to do that. So high blood sugars actually make your body release all the dopamine and get rid of it, so you can't, and if you have a problem metabolizing using dopamine, do you want to spit out all your dopamine at one time because your blood sugar's too high? No. The other thing to know is that the lay press and the things that you worry about oftentimes are working against you. Okay, your brain is 70% fat. Okay, Parkinson's disease is strongly related to people who have low levels of cholesterol. Actually, so all the hype and anti-fat and control your cholesterol stuff might actually be working against people who have Parkinson's disease. People talk about LDL cholesterol and good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. The cholesterol is not bad. Cholesterol is what helps your system build new neurons, build and support the brain, because the brain is 70% fat. Cholesterol carries good fat and around your body to build things that it needs. All your cell membranes are made out of fat. 70% of your brain is fat, but it's the oxidized LDL, the transformed LDL by a bad diet that is more likely to cause the arteriosclerosis. So you hear about heart disease and stuff related to cholesterol. It's the oxidized cholesterol that's causing the problem. And I'll tell you why cholesterol oxidizes. It's because of sugar. Sugar in your diet and sugar in your bloodstream makes that LDL oxidize, and then that causes damage to your blood vessels. Where are there blood vessels that are very important to your body? Everywhere, right? So if you have heart disease, what do you think is going on to the blood vessels in your brain? If you have peripheral artery disease, what do you think is going on to the blood vessels in your brain? The exact same thing. Okay? So we need to control our blood sugars and make sure you have enough fat in order to thrive. So how do we do this stuff? Okay. Remember again, the whole world is trying to kill you. It's working against what your body needs. So why are brain cells so susceptible, and why is it such a problem for our brain with all these things that we do to it? So some background stuff. Your brain cells are called neurons. Your brain uses 10 times more oxygen than the rest of your body. 20% of your entire energy resources go to your brain. So what do you think happens if you're what happens to your brain when you're exposed to environmental toxins, to bad food, high blood sugar, poor diet, excess stress, poor sleep? 20% of your whole, 20 to 25% of your whole energy is devoted to making this work well. If your bloodstream is full of bad things for your body and your brain, where is it going to have an effect over time? In your brain. Okay? What's the other thing that's working against you? Brain cells live a very long time. Okay? If I cut my skin, and that's going to heal in a week, right? If I do brain damage over time with these kind of things, there's no mechanism for my brain to regenerate completely. The lining of if you burn your mouth on pizza, not that you're going to ever eat pizza again after talking. How long does it take that to heal? You burn your mouth, it feels better the next day, right? You poke yourself in the eye, those turn over rapidly. You feel better in an hour or two, or the next day, right? If your brain gets damaged slowly over time, those neurons just keep building up that damage year after year after year. So we have to protect the brain. We have to do the right things that let the brain heal. And it's better. I tell people I'm not really that good of a doctor. I'd rather work with you to keep you from getting a problem than to try to fix a problem after you have it. It's a whole lot easier. It's a lot easier to change your oil than to change your engine, right? So what else is in the world trying to kill us? I kind of mentioned some of this stuff. Air pollution, stuff you can't see can hurt you. Okay, nanoparticles, all the little particulate stuff in our air is shown to have increased. I think it's 100,000 excess deaths in America each year. It's devastating stuff that increases heart attacks, air pollution, stuff you can't see, not the big smog that you can see. The small stuff you can't see increases asthma attacks, increases cancer, it increases heart attacks, it increases strokes. So there's tons of little things going on that we can't see that add up over time. Of course, smoking and alcohol, even over-exercising increases the stress on our body. It makes our body release cortisol. Sedentary lifestyle is not good either, so you got to have kind of a happy medium. Heavy metal exposure. Heavy metals are everywhere. It's in the seafood. It's in the air from coal-fired power plants. So it's everywhere. You don't have a choice. You can't move somewhere where there's no environmental toxicity. What else is working against us? Poor diet, poor sleep. What do we think is causing a lot of these diseases we don't really understand very well? Type 2 diabetes sometimes, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, fibromyalgia. They're multifactorial. There's viruses and bacteria that are hitting your body all the time, and if you react the wrong way to it, or if your immune system takes that signal in the wrong way, now all of a sudden you develop a disease. It might be Parkinson's, it might be fibromyalgia, it might be cancer. All these little things add up over time to damage us. So we got to work against that and have what I call resiliency. So why is the gut so important? Okay, why is this stomach and bowel so important? Well, there is a strong gut-brain connection. The brain and the gut talk to each other all the time. Stuff in the gut tells the brain what to do. So have anybody ever heard of Zoloft and Paxil and Prozac? Those are all serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Serotonin is one of the brain neurotransmitters. Do you know where 80% of your serotonin comes from? It's made in the gut. There's a nerve called the vagus nerve that connects the brain and the gut, and it's talking all the time back and forth. Has anybody heard of the gut-brain or the blood-brain barrier? So the brain is supposed to be walled off from the rest of the bloodstream, so that white blood cells and infections and things like that aren't supposed to get into the brain. Most chemicals aren't supposed to get into the brain. That's why only certain kind of drugs actually help Parkinson's and other diseases, because they don't cross into the brain. Well, latest research has shown that the blood-brain barrier is only as strong as the gut barrier. So if the gut is inflamed, then that barrier in the brain starts to loosen up, and now things that weren't supposed to get into your brain can. So if we fix the gut, we can fix the brain. Eating the wrong foods, like I said, breaks down that gut. It's called leaky gut syndrome. And then bacteria and tiny food particles, everything we put into our bodies, can leak into the bloodstream, activates our immune system, and now it can get into the brain. So is that something that you want? That sounds like a good scenario for health? No. So what about this? And then the other thing, so the gut and the brain talk to each other about how the brain's working and happy or not happy. But also the gut is the site of about 80% of our immune system. So if your gut is irritated, inflamed, and weak, then your immune system is going to be weak. Another thing to think about why it's so important to have good nutrition and to make the gut healthy is the gut inside your body or is it outside your body? It's not inside your body. Your gut is actually outside your body. This is how you need to think about this so you can understand why nutrition is so important. Your gut is exactly like your skin. So it's just starting from your mouth, turned inside out skin. It goes all the way down and has specialized functions to absorb nutrients. But everything you put into your mouth and everything you breathe in has to cross through the extra skin, which is your gut, your small bowel, your large bowel, your stomach. So it's actually outside of your body. It's just folded in and carried inside you. So it's not directly connected to your liver, your kidneys, your brain. It's actually inside your body. So it's actually outside of your body from a technical standpoint. So that's why I want you to think differently about your gut and your brain so that you can understand how important nutrition can be for you. So the other thing I want you guys all to know, like I said before, food is medicine. Food is the most important thing you can do to your body to get healthy and stay healthy. Has anybody heard of something called epigenetics? You know about your genome? Your genome is supposed to be like what your body, your parents deliver to you and how you're supposed to react. If you have one gene, maybe that makes you fat. If you have another gene, maybe that makes you at higher risk for cancer. If you have another gene, it gives you a higher risk for Alzheimer's disease, right? So we found just as important as genetics is something called epigenetics. Your environment turns on and off genes. The environment that you're in turns on and off genes. So smoking turns on bad genes. Eating broccoli and asparagus turns on good genes. Exercising turns on good genes. Sleeping enough turns on good genes. So if you turn on the good genes and you turn off the bad genes, then you're going to live a healthier life. You can actually change your genetics if you do the right lifestyle changes. What are other bad things? We talked how the environment's trying to kill you, right? What turns on bad genes? Stress, pollution, viruses, and then exercise turns on good genes. So that's why exercise seems to have so many effects on so many different areas. Why good nutrition has so many effects on so many different areas. Then the other thing is, so we talked about all the things that you're not in control of, right? You're not in control of exactly where you live, the environment, the genes that you inherited from mom and dad. You can't be in control of that, right? But what's the one thing you are in control of every single day? In America, usually at least 3 times a day, sometimes 6. Or more. What's the one thing you're in control of every minute of every day? What you put in your mouth, right? What you eat. You are in complete control of that. You can decide what to pick up. So the standard American diet, why is that so bad? So we've talked about this epigenetic stuff. We talked about all the things that go on in your body. The standard American diet increases vascular risk factors. It increases brain inflammation. It increases brain plaque formation, so it increases the risk of Alzheimer's disease. What's one of those other components of Parkinson's disease? Dementia, right? That's something we want to push off. We want to get rid of it. It decreases brain blood flow. I talked about how your body's built to give 25% of your energy to the brain. Well, what's going to happen if your brain flow slows down? That's not going to be good, right? And if standard American diet breaks down the blood-brain barrier. When you look around the grocery store, think about this for a second, okay? Only about 60% of things in the grocery store can really be classified as food. Think about it. What is food? Is food anything and everything you just throw in your mouth, or you throw in a bag and try to sell it to people? Is Coca-Cola food? Are potato chips food? Are Doritos food? Is that what you really want to nourish your body with? So what is food? Food is something that promotes life and provides sustenance to the body. If it doesn't do those 2 things, it's not food. You ever hear like the potato chip commercial? No one can eat just one. Why is that? That's not an accident. That's not an accident. That's the food industry designing products that you eat, don't give you sustenance, and you want to eat more because you don't feel sustained. So, think about this. Have you ever eaten a bag of cookies? Have you ever eaten a bag of potato chips? Okay. Now, have you ever eaten a whole bag of broccoli? Okay. What happens? If you try to eat a whole bag of broccoli, you would stop because you feel full, right? That's because it sustains you. It's providing the feedback to your brain, telling you, this is good for me. This is all I need. This is doing stuff that my body wants. Potato chips and canned goods and processed foods and cereal, they don't give you that same feedback. That's why you can eat 3 bowls of cereal and still be hungry at 11 o'clock in the morning. If you ate 3 eggs and an avocado, you're not going to feel hungry until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you have the choice of making things that can help sustain and improve your body. So then, Doc, you told me all these things that I can't eat. What the hell am I supposed to eat? What am I going to do now? Like I said, if you can catch it, kill it, or pick it, you can eat it. Okay? If nature made it, eat it. If man made it, leave it. Okay? It's as simple as that. So we want foods that are good natural sources of meat and protein. We want to eat lots of vegetables and fruits. But more, they call it fruits and vegetables, right? But you need 5 servings of them a day. But it doesn't count if it's all pineapple, which is high sugar, less fiber. You still need your green leafy vegetables. You still need your lentils and stuff. You can't just eat all canned fruit and say, oh, I'm eating I got all my fruit in today. You know, you can't just eat a hamburger and say, oh, that's the protein I need. You got to be smart about it. So what's the easiest way to eat a healthy diet? Have you ever heard this before? Just shop the perimeter of the grocery store. The outside of the grocery store is where all the natural foods are. If you just think about it. You know, the first thing you get to is the fruit and vegetable aisle, right? When you walk in, you want to spend most of your time here. There is no such thing as, actually, if you think about this, there's no US RDA recommendation for carbohydrates. Your body doesn't actually need carbohydrates. You can build everything you need from good fats and from protein and from fats. You don't absolutely need carbohydrates. So if you're eating fresh fruit and mostly vegetables, you're going to be healthier. The more plants and plant proteins that you eat, the healthier you're going to be on average. So hang out in the fresh fruit and veggie aisle. Spend a little bit of time in the meat aisle. Eggs and dairy are good. The frozen fruits and vegetables are just as good as the fresh stuff. So if you need convenience food, pick up a bag of frozen veggies and cook those up. You know, it's going to be just as good for you as the fresh stuff. But what do we need to avoid? We got to stay away from the glutens. We got to stay away from bread, even whole grain and whole wheat bread. That increases your blood sugar. So we've learned that Parkinson's disease and everybody in general, they want to protect your brain. You have to control the amount of blood sugar that's in your body. So you don't want high spikes in blood sugar. You want it to be slowly regulated. And you want it to go up slowly and then also have all these other nutrients in it. So why are fresh fruit and vegetables so good for you? You know, what's the constituents or what's a broccoli made out of? I mean, it's got fiber, it's got chlorophyll and thousands of different compounds that have been developed over years and years to make these things work well for people. What's in Wonder Bread? It's processed grains that have been stripped of all the wheat and all the outside layers of it. It's got processed vitamins and minerals that your body can't necessarily absorb. And it damages the lining of the gut and produces a high blood sugar very quickly. It's called a glycemic index. So if you're looking for foods if you're eating foods that bump your blood sugar up really high, then really quickly your body can't handle it, and it produces inflammation overall. So we want foods that are natural, that cause the gut to kind of slow down, absorb slowly, so your blood sugar doesn't go up too fast, too quickly. So what are the things that the Parkinson's patient needs to remember about their blood sugar? You want to stick to lower carb, so paleo diets, keto diets, I don't care, Mediterranean diets, they're all good for you. They're all 10 times better for you than the standard American diet. The closer you are to any of those things, I don't care which one you pick, I don't care which one you like. If you don't eat like an American, then you're going to be healthier. Just don't eat like an American. Pick anything else. Anything else is going to work better for you than the standard American diet. You want to have enough healthy fats to support your brain cells. You want to control the inflammation in your body. You want to have higher doses of vitamin D, magnesium, and B vitamins to promote brain health and to support those cells that aren't working well. And remember, high cholesterol later on in life, over 70 and 80, high cholesterol is associated with more longevity, not dying. Your brain is made out of cholesterol. All your hormones are made out of cholesterol. So you want to have good, healthy fats and healthy hormones. Healthy fats like avocado and olive oil and stuff are going to be good for you over the long run. So, Doc, you told me all these things that are I can't eat. What's food going to look like if I'm eating healthy? The thing about this is for breakfast. Another thing to remember is humans are the only animals that have breakfast foods. Okay, Every other animal just has food. Right? So why can't you eat? Why do you have to eat eggs and cereal in the morning? Why do you eat a bagel in the morning or a donut? Why not eat steak and cannelli beans for breakfast? Why not eat some broccoli and asparagus for breakfast? We can do it. We can do things like that make ourselves healthy. You can have spinach for breakfast. So for example, you could have a crustless quiche. So just eggs with shredded carrots and spinach, and that's going to sustain you and get you jump started on getting those 5 veggies a day. Steel cut oats, like the old-fashioned oats, with fruit. Banana and apple. If you need pancakes, make them banana apple pancakes or pumpkin pancakes. They'll be just as good and nutritious for you, but they won't have all that wheat and gluten that your body doesn't want and need. Lunchtime, you could have a salad with quinoa as a grain, with vegetables, or roasted fresh vegetables, and put some grilled salmon on it. Or you could have lentil soup with mixed vegetables. You can get proteins in all your veggies. Dinner could be something like a cauliflower pizza crust with tomato basil sauce and mozzarella cheese. You can still have some cheese. So I'm not trying to take away everything and make your life miserable. For dinner, you could have a steak, but instead of having mashed potatoes and bread with it, make a mash out of cannelli beans and use sauteed kale or green beans. Something that's going to be green and fresh. You want to eat the whole rainbow of foods, but there's thousands of recipes out there all over the internet. There's books that can give you more and more stuff than I can give you. But what kind of things do you want to buy in your food supply? What do you want to have in your house? You want to get rid of anything that's in a bag. Get rid of things that have ingredients that you can't pronounce. What do you want to buy? You want to have berries, cherries, apples, artichokes, avocado, green leafy vegetables. You can use sweet potatoes instead of white potatoes. Purple potatoes are actually better. Anything with color is going to be better for you than something that's white. Broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower are superfoods that heal your body and heal your gut. And you want to have a good, healthy bowel movement every day. You want to keep things moving along. Think about it like this, okay? We talked about all the toxins and stuff, and how your gut is actually on the outside of your body. That's by design, right? And our ancestors probably had a bowel movement, a couple times a day. People that eat high vegetable diets, they all have bowel movements 2 or 3 times a day. The American GI Society says a normal bowel movement can be anywhere from 1 to 7 days. What's happening if you put toxic foods into your gut and it stays there for 7 days? Are you going to get more or less toxins into your system? What do you want to do? You want to get stuff into your body, take out the nutrients, and flush out all the crap. You want to flush out all the toxins, right?
Drink lots of water.
So you got to drink lots of water, exactly. Yeah. The only thing what do you need to drink? There's only one thing that your body needs to drink. Water, right? So you want to get stuff into your body that's nutritious that you can support you and sustain you. Nuts, beans, whole grains like brown rice or steel cut oats or quinoa. You want to avoid white bread, wheat bread, most breads at all. Watch out for the gluten-free zone stuff too, because if it looks like bread, there's probably something in it that's not going to be very healthy for you. Fish is great for you, especially wild-caught stuff. Organic meats. There's a reason why farmers fatten up their cows on grains. On what is corn a vegetable? Corn a vegetable? Nope. Corn is a grain. It's been modified. When corn was originally found, the ears were like this big or even microscopic. So it's been modified over generations and generations to be big and have bigger and bigger kernels. So corn is actually a grain. So it's a carbohydrate. It's more carbohydrate than anything else. So that's why cattle farmers fatten up their cows on grain. They fatten them up on grains and corn. You know, we don't need that. That's why grass-fed beef, cows are meant to eat grass. Okay, that's why grass-fed beef is better for you than grain-fed beef. That's why wild-caught fish and stuff that eats in natural environment, or bison is better for you than cow. But bison can't be domesticated; they have to roam. So that's why those things are better for you than stuff you can grab in the field. So what can I do to substitute? Man, you got corn oil and all this stuff in the refrigerator, in the grocery store or in your cupboards. Switch out avocado oil and olive oil. Stick to wild caught fish, things like salmon and halibut and mahi-mahi. Put those in if you need some protein. Use coconut flour and almond flour instead of wheat flour. And there's tons of recipes that make things better for you. So what are we trying to avoid if you want to be healthy? You want to stay away from bread, pasta, white rice. If it's white potatoes, substitute something out for it. You don't have to eliminate it completely. You're still going to get carbs in your diet, but there's good carbs in black beans and lentils and quinoa and other grains that are better for your body and don't cause inflammation. Margarine, vegetable oils like corn oil, soybean oil, peanut oil, all these things cause inflammation and cause more harm than good. And of course, any processed foods. Any stuff in the middle aisles, if it doesn't need to be refrigerated, you probably don't want to eat it. If it lasts longer than you do, you probably don't want to eat it. So if nature made it, remember, you can eat it. The other thing to remember is that you don't have to pick one. Like, there's no such thing as a diet plan you have to eat on the rest of your life in order to be healthy. Like, Dale's a physical therapist. Do you use every single exercise the exact same for every single patient?
No.
Do you use the exact same exercise for that same patient? Think of one patient. Do you use the exact same exercise for that patient every time you see him?
No.
No. Do you mix it up?
Yes.
Why? Because they're progressing, right? Or they're changing. They have different needs at different times, right? So you can use a different diet. If you're doing paleo, you can switch in and out of paleo to go to keto. You can go from keto to Mediterranean diet. You can mix things up and still be healthier. If you stay away from the standard American diet, you're going to be healthier. Doesn't matter which one you pick, but you can use it. So don't get caught up on, if I make the wrong choice, I'm going to die. You know, just pick something that's good, that works for you. The other thing we want to do is we want to heal the GI tract. So what do I do that other doctors don't do that helps heal the GI tract? I give people high dose vitamins that supplement decrease inflammation and help support the GI tract and let it heal from the inside out. Because if you've been inflamed for 50 years and it's not working right, what makes you think just suddenly eating broccoli is gonna absorb all the good nutrients that you want? It's not. If you don't heal the gut first, you aren't going to get all the benefits out of your newfound diet plan. So you got to heal it from the inside out. So I do high dose vitamin C therapy that includes B vitamins that your brain needs. Do glutathione, which is nature's most powerful antioxidant. It decreases inflammation in your body and lets your gut start to heal to begin with, while you're transitioning to a new diet plan. So I'll put people on IV therapy for 2 months that lets them heal while they're changing their diet, and then the diet takes over after a couple months. So once you've gotten better, now you can be more sustained on your own.
Can you explain IV therapy? Does that mean you have a needle going in here?
Yeah, so we put an intravenous catheter in. So it's a flexible catheter that goes into your veins, and we hang a bag of vitamins, just like if you were at the hospital, right, and you got sick from pneumonia. Are they going to give you a penicillin pill, or are they going to put the antibiotics in an IV? You're going to put the antibiotics in an IV because it's better absorbed. You don't have to worry about it not getting absorbed by the GI tract. So if your gut is inflamed, it's not absorbing your vitamin D. It's not absorbing all the nutrients that your body needs. It's not absorbing vitamin E and the B12 and all those different vitamins that your body needs. I put them directly in your veins so that 100% of them get absorbed. So why do we need to heal the GI tract? I was telling you, it's basically outside of your body. So if the GI tract doesn't work, the stuff that you want to absorb from eating your broccoli and your cabbage and your wild-caught fish, you can't absorb it. So we have to heal it with good bacteria. There's actually, you've heard about the gut biome or the microbiome. There's more bacteria that live in your body than human cells. There's more bacteria DNA in your body by 10-fold than there's human DNA. So if you don't have good, healthy bacteria in your gut, you can't absorb it. There's actually bacteria that tell your brain to be happy or not happy. There's bacteria that break down the foods that you eat to feed your colon. If you don't have the right bacteria in your small bowel, the colon doesn't get fed. Does that make sense to anybody? It's crazy, but our body is made that way. That we have commensurate bacteria that support our health. And if we don't support the good bacteria, then we're not going to be as healthy as we could be.
Is that like a probiotic?
Yeah. So probiotics are important, but probiotics aren't going to do it all by themselves. Probiotics are a supplement. You got to have the good nutrition. You have to have a gut that's susceptible to it and amenable to taking all that stuff. So if you eat standard American diet with highly processed food, it's not going to grow the good bacteria that you want. Your gut actually change, the bacteria in your gut actually change depending on what you eat. So if you eat healthy, good quality foods, you actually change it over time. So I tell this to everybody. If you take the bacteria from a fat person and put it in a skinny person gets fat. If you take the bacteria from a skinny person and put it in a fat person, the fat person gets skinny. Okay? That's how powerful the bacteria in your gut are. Why wouldn't we want to be promoting good, healthy bacteria in our gut at all times, all through our lives? So we want good bacteria help detoxify them. There's bacteria in your gut that are healthy that break down mercury, and so it can be flushed out of your system. Mercury is a neurotoxin. So who wants the good bacteria that breaks down mercury in their gut? I do, right? What else helps? Eating fermented foods. So natural fermented foods like sauerkraut, good old Pittsburgh staple at New Year's. Eat that all year round, but it's got to be natural. It can't be pasteurized, because pasteurization kills all the bacteria. Kombucha, kimchi, all these fermented foods that people hear about are important for getting a good, healthy diet and promoting good bacteria in your gut. So if you eat a healthy diet, the gut will heal itself. Okay? If you eat well and you do the right things, the gut will heal itself, and then that lets the rest of your body get better. So I just wanted to sum up everything. Remember, the world is out to kill you. Everything is working against us. Our environment is bad for us. Our sleep habits, our food habits are all bad for us. Food is medicine. Okay, it's the number one medicine that we have in our bodies. Okay, only you can choose what you eat. Okay, if your gut is sick, you're going to be sick. If you want to be healthy, you have to have a healthy gut. It's okay to try different healthy diets. Don't pick one and don't get all sidetracked and confused and overwhelmed because you heard one day that keto is going to save your life, and the next day you hear paleo is going to save your life. The only thing that's true, we know, is that the standard American diet is going to kill you. So if you pick anything else, you're going to be better off, right? And remember, supplements are called supplements for a reason. Okay? They're only meant to supplement a good, healthy lifestyle. They're the building blocks. I tell people this all the time. think about supplements like this. I could probably make it in the NBA, but I'm gonna have to work a whole lot harder than somebody who's 7 feet tall, right? Right? So think of supplements like that. You know, if you are strong with fast twitch muscles and you work hard, then you can be a great sprinter like Usain Bolt. You know, if you're 7 feet tall, you're going to be more likely to be in the NBA than if you're 5'5". You know, so supplements help, but you can't make up for everything just with supplements. All right, and we got some resources. I'm sorry you guys didn't have the slides and everything, but I could send them.
Send them to me, and I can share with
I can share
the group.
with
Yeah.
You said that you recommend vitamin C, vitamin B, and then a gluta something. I never heard of that last one.
There's something called glutathione.
Glutathione.
And it's best used IV, but there are supplements that make it. A supplement called N-acetylcholine helps your body make more glutathione. So there's also stuff that helps heal your gut. Something called L-glutamine. It's soothing and helps the gut heal from the inside out. But yeah, so now I just wanted to open up. Anybody have any questions? Anything I can help you with? Yeah.
Well, along the same lines, can you tell me what the difference is between a prebiotic and a probiotic?
Yes. A prebiotic is something that provides the foods and nutrients and the environment for good bacteria to grow. A probiotic is the actual bacteria. So think about it. So prebiotics is the fertilizer and the soil. Probiotics is the grass seed. Okay? So you need both. The reason why fermented foods are so good is they both have good bacteria, but they also have the prebiotic nutrient stuff that the bacteria need to take hold in your gut. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Is a potato a vegetable?
Potato is a root vegetable, so it is technically a vegetable. I'm not against potatoes completely all the time, every time. You just have to know when to do it, when to use it, and it should be a part of a diet, not the main thing. If you eat potatoes 3 times a day, you're probably eating too many potatoes because you're not getting enough sustenance from other things. You know? If you want, think about it this way. It's thought that our ancestors, in the Paleolithic time, that's why the paleo diet is so popular nowadays. That our hunter-gatherer ancestors, they probably were exposed to hundreds of thousands of phytochemicals, so chemicals from plants and foods that they gathered and ate over time, because they could only eat what was out, right? How many times a year can cavemen eat apples? 1 time a year, right? They can eat, if they're in the right environment, they can eat oranges, but what can we eat? We can eat apples year round. We can eat avocados year round. We can eat potatoes year round. We don't need to save up and store up for the winter like our ancestors did. But our genes don't know that. Our brain doesn't know that. So how many different products are available in the grocery store? Our ancestors had 100,000 different phytochemicals that they were exposed to that promoted health. We have maybe a couple hundred, a couple thousand at most, because we have broccoli. You could name every thing of produce in the grocery store, right? Can you name every plant that our ancestors ate over the years, and as they're wandering through thousands of different miles, hunting and gathering? No. So the more different and varied kind of things we eat, the better off we'll be. If you eat more plants than anything else, you're going to be healthier. Okay? The more plants you eat, the healthier you are. That's it. You need protein, you need fats, but they should be well chosen and made as part of a plan to make you healthier. Yes.
Well, what would you suggest for someone who has a habit, like let's take cinnamon pop, for example?
Yeah.
It's a bad
So habits are hard. You always hear like it takes 60 days to break a habit or 30 days. It's actually like 6 months. It takes longer. It takes longer to break a habit or create a good habit than you think and you realize. Substituting something that if you like fizzy stuff, then get sparkling water. You know, if you put a little bit of flavoring in it, I'd rather you put a little lemon juice in sparkling water, or even do Crystal Light with sparkling water than drink a ton of soda, Mountain Dew. Yeah. If you other ways of getting substitutions and kind of tricking the brain is you associate a good thing with a bad thing. For example, exercise. Like if you want to exercise more at home, say you only allow yourself to watch your favorite TV show while you're exercising. Okay, so you pick something that's important to you, and then you pair it with the thing you're trying to change. That's why it can be hard. It's hard to, I tell people don't try to quit smoking, change your diet, and lose weight all at the same time. You're gonna overwhelm yourself and think. You pick one thing, fix it. So don't try to change your soda habit at the same time you're fixing everything else. Pick soda's gonna be this week. I'm gonna eat one more healthy vegetable next week. Week after that, I'm gonna have a meat-free day. Break it down into little bits, and then into bite-sized pieces. Then you can handle it. Drink 5 Mountain Dews instead of 6.
It's not that bad.
But you know what I'm saying? Drink. Yeah. Oh, I've had patients that drink 2 gallons of soda a day.
I used to work with a guy that brought two 2-liter bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain Dew is actually.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You spoke highly of fresh and frozen vegetables. What about canned vegetables?
Canned are usually pretty good. You want to make sure that they're minimally processed. So if they have a whole lot of, check the sodium content, check the other stuff that's in it. You're going to be better off eating canned. So the hierarchy is it's better to eat vegetables than processed food. So if you have to get it out of a can, it's better than not getting it all. You're gonna have more nutrients and better stuff in a can. But you also just look at the label. If it's got a lot of compounds that you can't pronounce or tons of salt, you want to try to find a lower processed variety if you can. But they're all good for you. Yes, Dave.
Can you speak a little bit more about how you would identify if we have a bad gut right now, and how we know when we have a healed gut? Mm-hmm. Do you have tests you do? How can you help us identify that?
Yeah, so we actually do comprehensive lab testing. We can do blood testing. We can actually do stool testing that tells you, so there's compounds that are shown up in your stool. We do something called our GI map complete test, where we take one sample of stool and we can tell you through DNA testing all the bacteria that you have in your gut, whether they're healthy bacteria or unhealthy bacteria. If you have signs of inflammation, if you have signs of gluten sensitivity, everybody hear about celiac screw and gluten sensitivity and all that stuff. We can tell you if you have that, and then design a program based on that helps get rid of the bad stuff and helps you heal up and promote the good stuff. So we do lab testing that tests. Depending on what your problem is, we look for hormones that might be out of whack if you're a middle-aged woman and gaining weight. If you're a guy and you're worn out all the time, we'll check your testosterone. If you're having gut issues and gut inflammation and bloating every time you eat, or you're not having normal stools, or certain things make you upset stomach, you have reflux, or we're going to check out your gut and figure out what's going on in there. So we do testing that tests for
So you would be a specialist that we might go to that would be giving us something different than a primary care doctor
Yeah, this
might
is
give
gonna be
us?
totally different from what your primary care doctor will give you. You know, we send our stuff off to a specialized lab. Fortunately, it's not covered by insurance because the insurance companies believe all this stuff is hogwash or it's not proven science. But our specialized lab will tell you exactly what's going on in your gut and signs of inflammation. We'll send off labs that tell you we can test your hormone levels in your saliva, that tell you, and even all your neurotransmitters. So what's dopamine? A neurotransmitter, right? So we can actually test the levels and to see how your body's responding. Other neurotransmitters your body needs, we can do supplements and design programs that help your body boost those up. But it's all based on lab testing. And so, yeah, I'm what's called a functional medicine doctor. So we do lab testing, so stool testing, blood testing, saliva stuff that looks for the biochemistry inside your body. And then is your thyroid a little bit out of whack? Is your liver working optimally? Are your blood sugars too high? Are your neurotransmitters where they're supposed to be? And we figure out a program to make those better. Yeah, so we're going to do something different from what your family doctor can do and what your regular neurologist can do. Because we're going to base our stuff on, we're going to give you IV therapies that you can use. We're going to give you supplements that help your body heal from the inside out. And we're going to teach you how to eat so that you can live a healthy life and take over. So all of our programs are 60 days because we want time for you guys to learn what you need and figure out how to do it on your own. And then we retest you, show what's better, and then design another program for you. So it's a partnership. You know, I can't do it all for you. I can just help guide you. But we have nutrition coaches that we assign to all of our patients that call you and tell you how to do it. They walk you through all the food stuff. I give you the supplements that you need, and we ship those directly to your house. So we try to make it nice and easy and simple for people to figure out a healthy way to live.
Do you have any Parkinson's patients in your practice?
We do have a couple, and we're working with them as far as just general nutrition stuff. I'm never going to tell anybody that I'm going to cure cancer or that I'm going to cure Parkinson's disease. But if we can do things that make your body a better environment, then you're going to either slow the progression or live happier while all this other stuff is going on. So that's what we're